joined by American Mal, Scotty Riggs, who kind of resembles Billy Jack Haynes a little bit today.
Wow. And here I am, this baby-faced guy, short hair and everything else, with Jake the Snake, and we're going through the hood looking for crack, and people think I'm a cop. Austin comes up to me and goes, "Hey kid, you know how to work the head?" "Yeah, cool, we're going to work the head." And all of a sudden there's major friction from Bill Dundee over that. And I'm thinking, what the, this guy doesn't want, it's not even your deal, Dundee. Why you throwing me in? Tommy Rich, I give him props. He gave me my favorite spot I ever did in the world. And we did it on I was there at the time when the gangsters were working rock and roll. So there was a lot of racial things that were going on. And Cornette, I think, has spoken on other stuff and said, he put me with Lex Luger as Lex's flag bearer. I was telling you this. Terry Taylor told me not to do anything with WWF. If I'm on TV, if I lose, Lawler goes nuts on me in the dressing room in front of the whole locker room. Not WWF, but USWA. Lawler goes, "This is a bunch of crap. This kid here doesn't want to go make money. He can lose in WWF. That's not going to hurt him in WCW. Lawler is just bitching at me. Randy Hale was bitching at me because I told Randy Hale right after I beat Tracy Smothers in Evansville that, I had to leave. He's pitching a fit. "You can't leave. You guys spent, it's 2 weeks. You got to give me a 2-week notice. We got to beat you for the next 2 weeks here." And Lawler's want me to go to WWF and get beat by guys. We're doing the Smoky Mountain versus USWA at the time, where Smoky Mountain was invading. Jimmy Hart walks in and sees me and Marcus. And Jimmy Hart, his mind starts going, Rock and Roll Express, Fantastics, the Fabulous Ones, Marcus and Riggs. Look at these two kids. This is money. This is his 80s mentality thinking.
Right.
And where is Scotty? And Kevin's like, "He's in Memphis, USWA." "No way." Boom. I'm sitting in Louisville, getting ready to head to Evansville, Indiana. Kevin Sullivan wants to talk to you. Kevin's like, "Hey, Kev, I want to bring you in. Richard Bagwell's partner. We got some things we're trying to do with him. It ain't working." They sent me something that it was Tommy Dreamer was almost an American male instead of me. That was Kevin Sullivan's deal, I guess. But Tommy turned it down. They put, me and Bagwell went and did videos riding horses. Shirtless, like the Fabulous Ones and everything else. We were shirtless, oiled up, everything, riding horses. And they did a photo shoot with it and a video with it. The video never made air. Thank God, actually, because it's queer as hell as you look at it now. Lex, Bischoff, and Sting knew that he was there.
Right.
But none of the talent. Hogan, none of the guys, until right after the show starts, there's Lex. And my mind's going, wow, if I had stayed in USWA to try to do the WWF thing, I'd probably be a Barry Horowitz or Brooklyn Brawler. One night, I got the sulfur shit farts and was sitting in bed, and I would fart in the sheets, and I start fanning the room. And Marcus was in tears. Like where Rob's over in the bed laughing right now, Marcus was in tears. Actually called his wife. "Scotty's farting and killing me." The room reeked of these sulfur farts I was ripping, and I'm sitting there laughing. I'm in tears. "Oh my God, you're Scotty Riggs, Mark Bagwell." But Marcus Bagwell, and oh my God, it's Sting, it's Lex, it's Steiner. They would go gaga for us, and it'd be like, "Hey, da da da, dance, dance, dance." Boom, back in the hotel room, hit the strippers, and go home. Catch your flight out the next morning and leave them in the room. That's what we did half the time. They stayed, or we just had them leave. We give them cab fare and tell them to go home. Because I was hitting so many girls, right. I didn't even think about the gay community thinking that we were hot, Because if you walked out, you'd hear high-pitched girls going, "Yay!" And then you hear a bunch of boos, because the guys hated us.
Right.
So I didn't even think about the gay community digging nitro girls and stuff like that we didn't cross paths with. Even though I almost got in trouble once with one, and Bischoff reamed me out for it, Kimberly reamed her out for it, and then Kimberly reamed me out for it, and we never did anything, and then we finally said, "Hey, we need to do something." So we can talk about that later. So we can be justified for doing this. There were plenty of times where we were running the orgy in the room, and there were 2 German chicks that we hit like the first couple nights. Marcus couldn't get his girl to do business with, to do dirty deed. I had mine naked and going to town in a heartbeat. And Marcus was like, "What are you doing? How because he's fighting with his girl and everything else, trying to get her to go. And she didn't give up to him like a couple nights later. She finally did. Not that I'm needed to get Ric Flair a girl. If Ric Flair wants a chick or two, Ric's going to come down in a robe, butt-ass naked with his shoes on and socks, and that's it.
So that's not just a
No. I've seen them do it a couple of times. Not in my room, in the bar.
Oh, in the bar.
In the bar. We're all like this, and it's like, Barb, you know you're dancing with a guy. I know. He pretty. He be okay. And you can't tell Barb anything. I mean, Barb is going to do what Barb wants to do. I still remember the Mall of America that night. Me, Bagwell, and Alex Wright each took chicks to the upstairs bathroom all at the same time, and we're each in a stall. And somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody was out front watching to make sure nobody came inside while we were fucking these girls in the bathroom. She was a ring rat from, early, but she was still a fine girl. I mean, she didn't do everybody. I think she did Terry for a long time. Naked, anyway. Okay. She just gets, she sees me naked, she starts stripping, and we start going to town. And Marcus, I still remember him standing there like, a lot of places we went to, he had been there many times before as a wrestler. So the girls knew him. Okay. So it wasn't like he just walked into an office guy in a suit and tie or whatever, and girls are going, he's all, No, he was still Terry Taylor. Okay. He still had the stroke, and JJ pats me in the ass, basically. And Terry is steaming, pissed off. Not soon after that, I have to put Scott Putski over on Nitro. I mean, there are matches. There was one match that came up in Florida a few months later where Terry Taylor booked this guy that was going to get squashed by Scott Hall. Had him in a match. And we were in Fort Myers, Florida, I think it was. And this again, and I know the heat in a sense because he's just being real gruff with me. And the next thing he calls me in the office, says, "What I want you to do in a dark match, go out there." That's when we started pitching some of them off to the other guys. We were like, hey, what you need to do if you want to be with me next time we come here, you got to go do him. I was blessed. It was tagging with Marcus. I trained and traveled, played golf with, partied with, hung out with Lex and Sting. Because Lex and Sting were friends, Marcus and Sting were friends. I got put into our little Four Horsemen group, if you want to call it that. I used to walk into Main Event Fitness at a TV taping, and Kevin Sullivan would be in there working out. I walk up to Kevin, I give him two Percocet. Right. Hey, Kev, have a good workout, buddy. Riggs, you son of a bitch. Next thing you know, I'm walking in Saturday night, I'm getting a win. About 30 minutes after catering, Arn Anderson grabs me. What the fuck is your problem, kid? What do you mean? You're traveling with Lex Luger and Sting, and you make them drive? There were some double teams, some switcheroos going on. There were different times. It all depended on the motion. If I liked what I was with, and he liked what he was with, if he wanted to take her in the bathroom, you were in the bathroom, because he didn't want to be watched. Hey, do it. That's how we did our deal. He went in one direction, I went the other. Lex, huge blonde hair. Lex would spend an hour to get ready to go to a titty bar.
Really?
Yeah. Marcus would be there spending 45 minutes. Me and Stinger would be like this on the couch. Could we just get dressed, put on, boom, hair, boom, go. The only time I got Lex to go out with a hat head one time, and they're all like this, boom, boom, shoveling. Lex is like, what the fuck is your problem, kid? You need to pick up your pace and eat with us. I'm like, I don't even. If you're going to be with us, you're going to eat fat. And he starts just laying to me. You suck. You can't be with us. There's no way you can travel with us. And I'm sitting there going like this. I'm sweating, thinking, man, I've ruined it with Lex. I don't even know the guy. It's the first time meeting him. He's blistered me. Being an ex-American male, but the flock stories at the strip clubs are even better than the American male stories. You haven't got to the flock stuff. Hey, Sandman, we know you're like an 8-ball. Here you go. Cocaine got back to the office. It caused Tully Blanchard.
Well, is that what the line is? I mean.
Yeah. You can have your painkillers, you can have your somas, you can have your Valiums, you can have your Halcyons, you can have your beer, you can have this, you can have some pot. But when it came to the coke, if you came up positive that, you were fired. I'll say a shoot 5 times in a row. Lex, Sting, Marcus, Riggs, Alex Wright, somebody else.
You guys got tested every time?
The same 5 of us and one random person would get tested.
Really?
It could be a Mark Starr, it could be a Frankie Lancaster, it could be a Brian Knott. One person, Ric Flair, grabs me. Scotty, welcome to the company. We're going out. Marcus, get ready. Back down there, got the office girls, be here in 45. Flair takes me out, party our ass off. We're out till 3-4 in the morning, hungover like motherfuckers. I am just obliterated. Try to get up next day, get something to eat, knowing we got to work the nasties. They got to put us over. They are not happy about having to put us over. And the whole scoop was we're supposed to work the next night and win the tag titles. What they told us. I love Knobs, and Knobs was one to come over and check on me to make sure it was okay. Everybody else would check on me. Well, Sags didn't give a fuck. That's why I didn't give a fuck about it. When Hall cracked him in the back of the head with that chair, I loved it. And I know Sting will be one of the first guys, Steve Borden, instead of Sting, will be the first guy to tell you, I was cheating on my wife, I was doing drugs, I was doing this, but he gave his life to Christ.
Right.
And he confessed it all to his wife. It almost ended their marriage. It almost split the whole family up. But it actually brought the family together. Going, yes! You know, because I got my pay raise. You know, I got a guaranteed 1-year contract with a huge chunk of change that I never saw in my life before. So I was very, very happy. I was very content for that year. Yeah, not on the same page with Bischoff. I think he just appreciated my work, knew I was a great hand and everything else. His spinning kick, his wheel kick, whatever you want to call it, over, was that night that they dropped the straps to us. Thanks to Dick Slater, I got my first flight ever in first class. Here's Hulk, and here's everybody else. You were not in the same class. You didn't speak to him unless he spoke to you half the time. Because he walked by you like you weren't even there. Hey, fine, Hulkster, that's where you want to be, that's where you want to be. I'm not going to work with you. You don't have a relationship with me, I don't have a relationship with you. They were the top guns. Right. And they all had creative control put in their contracts. They all had all these perks. They had the private planes, they had everything. They're the superstars. The rest of us in WCW are riding off of everything that they've done with the NWO. Liz and Nancy are like, they're like, I guess he's okay, you know. And Flair puts the figure 4 on me. I'm like, oh, you stiff bastard. He's like, what are you talking about? You're kicking and shit. I'm not even touching you. Bullshit, you stiff bastard. And then Bischoff was looking at me like, what, are you fucking kidding me? But, I mean, that's my way of fucking with him. I finally got a chance to fuck with a boss in the ring. WCW was ran as a wrestling company. They had wrestling minds working for it that happened to be on TV. Okay. WWE is a TV show that happens to be about wrestling.
What's going on? Savannah, Georgia was the last time I saw you.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
With Rob.
Mm-hmm.
You grew your hair back.
Yeah. Kind of grew it back. Let it go gray, you know.
It's all right. You showed me a picture. I said you look like Billy Jack a little bit.
That's what he said.
Norton, I sat down and Norton goes, that motherfucker spoke to you. I'm like, yeah. He goes, it took 5 years of me coming over here for him to finally speak to me. Boy, just showed up a kid out of the power plant. Lodi showed up a kid out of the power plant. Kidman just saw someone became a grungy kid. Stevie Richards, I had heat with him, beat him up at a show, and he quit. But he was wrestling as Rob Van Dam, and Greg put us in tag matches. He put us against each other as babyface matches. Things, the American Males, the Flock, and you remember the clap. The 3 distinct things I did, they remember.